Hello again. It's been too long. Too long? Too long. Hello again.
It's been a while.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Come Get Some. This is a special one for us. This is our Come Tomorrow review, giving you our thoughts about the newest Dave Matthews album, released on June 8th, 2018. All the reviews I've seen so far have been pretty damn good.
They've all come in except for ours.
Yep. And well, this is the one that's important,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Dr. Rips here along with my bud Chewie. Just in all fairness, before we get started, you know, we've had some comments on our previous videos and everything, and obviously where I'm a huge diehard Dave Matthews Band fan, to the point where they're inked on my body. I'm going to this. I've seen them countless times, and it's basically my family, my friends, Dave Matthews Band, the rest of everything else in life. Maybe the Jets and Yankees right below, but in all fairness, in all fairness, Professor Chewie here is pretty new to the Dave Matthews Band game. He's new.
My kung fu is not as strong as yours.
I understand. Well, we're going to make you a samurai cop yet. So basically, the Chew Man has known Dave Matthews Band over the years like a casual fan, but recently I've kind of been showing him the light, like the one that's in the middle of my head right there. Been showing him the light and kind of getting him into the band, especially lately, especially with some of the newer stuff, this past tour, and obviously Come Tomorrow. So the Chew Man is going to give you the best of his ability, the knowledge that he...
My English not so good.
Like Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah. Look at this guy. So we're going to jump right into it and go kind of song by song and just to give you our thoughts on them. So we'll start obviously at the beginning. First song on the album, Samurai Cop. No surprise here. This is the first single released probably maybe a month ago or so. A song that we've, as fans, have also heard lots since 2016 when they started playing it. Samurai Cop was produced by Rob Cavallo and John Algia. What are your thoughts on the song Samurai Cop? We've probably discussed this one already, but we'll briefly go over it.
I mean, I've liked it since I first heard it, like you said, a month ago or 2
Yep.
weeks ago. I think it's the perfect opener because it's about, you know, I'm a little biased because I'm a father too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about birth, and it's, you know, kind of like the birth of the CD.
Sure, yeah,
first,
for sure. Yeah,
I'm getting deep there.
That was deep.
Yeah.
You dove right in head first, and I agree with you. You know, the first time I heard this song was the day after they played it the first time, which was the Charlottesville show in 2016, and my thoughts were that the song was amazing. I had just had a son 2 months before that, so it really hit home, as you have recently had a child yourself, your second, and yeah, I think it's just a beautiful song. I love the riff. It's real simple, but once the drum beat hits, you know, it's not really so much of a downer. It's kind of upbeat.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a great song. I think the lyrics are awesome in it.
It's like a lullaby almost in a weird way.
Absolutely.
For me.
Absolutely. So Samurai Cop obviously gets a good grade for us because it's not so much of an unknown song, but yeah, it's definitely a song about birth, having kids, and anybody who has kids, I'm sure that this one kind of hits you in a little bit different level than somebody who might not.
Basket,
right in the bread basket, gets you right in the bag. So Samurai Cop,
also best title that I've ever heard for a song.
Yeah, and
Samurai
obviously,
Cop.
you know, the story behind it again is that this is just a movie that, you know, they kind of laugh at. It's really not a good movie. It's an 80s crappy low-budget film, but they happen to have it on in the studio while doing this song, so that's where the origin of that one comes from.
It's also my new personal battle cry. You know, when I'm really mad, or if I'm like at a deli and it's like, and I don't want to wait in line anymore, I just scream out "Samurai Cop," and people clear out.
And you get your sandwich.
Yeah,
I
not
understand.
all the time though. I don't always get the sandwich, but people clear out.
I would if I said some nutbag screaming "Samurai Cop" in the middle of a deli, I'd probably leave myself. So I don't blame him. But it's a good tactic.
Yeah.
Can't Stop is the second song on the album. Can't Stop was produced by Mark Batson. It actually features Butch Taylor and Leroy Moore, two of our old friends. So Can't Stop was another song, one of the older ones with the Idea View, which we'll talk about. But Can't Stop's been around since the mid-2000s. Clearly, this song has evolved from the spot. I mean, every year that they've played the song, it's kind of remained the same. They gave it a big upheaval and made it a little bit faster, made the drum a lot different. I happen to really like it. They added that whole "Free the Beast Inside of Me, Won't You Kill Me" just a little part later on in the song. What do you think of "Can't Stop"?
You know, I felt like it definitely had, it was funky for sure. Especially compared to Samurai Cop.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
A little dirty, but in a good way. I felt like taking a shower after listening to it, but in a good way. You know, totally.
Right.
Yeah,
of course.
And, you know, actually, it's funny when I first heard some of the lyrics. Like, there's that "So hungry you make me." I swear I'm not trying to be funny. I thought he said, "So horny you make me," and I was like, "What?" You know, so I had to re-listen to it to get some of the lyrics down. But and there's a "Burn Like a Junkie for You," so it definitely has like a different kind of feel. I like Samurai Cop better, but it's definitely a good funky song.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think
if you like funky songs.
If you like funk, this one stinks. No, it's
I feel the same way after I eat a Whopper.
No, that's funk. Yeah, I understand that one. Yeah, "Can't Stop." I like the song. Probably not one of my favorites on the album, but again, something that, you know, I won't skip. I like listening to it. I've seen it a bunch live, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. I've heard it, the new live version. I'm looking forward to seeing it live myself. I like the horn section at the end of it. I like how it's kind of raw on the album, where they kind of, at the end you think the song's over, and then they do like that little kind of outtake where everybody just kind of like stops playing their instruments. Kind of cool. This one I know you like. Number 3 on the album is "Here On Out," which is "Here On Out" was produced by, I'm not even sure. Where's my notes here? "Here On Out" was produced by Rob Cavallo. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Produced by Rob Cavallo. Dave solo, but with, you know, some accompanying from Cavallo and stuff like that in the background. What do you think of "Here On Out"?
You know, it's just a very stripped down kind of like guitar song. That's why I think I liked it. It's, you know, I immediately liked it. I mean, that guitar riff that starts it off, it's funny because it sounded like a very fast version of that "Hey Delilah" song.
Right.
Like super fast. But then once, of course, he starts singing it, like, you know, it's all Dave. But I absolutely love this one.
Yep.
You know, and by later on, there's like a breakdown where he's saying something like, "I want you to know I still need you so."
Where he gets falsetto.
Yeah, I totally, like, I loved it before that, but once he hit that, I was done. I was like, I love this song.
Yeah, it's one of these songs like, you know, a couple of his other solo things that he does where it's a little repetitive, but the main theme is it okay if I call you mine from here on out, as if I could ever stop. It's one of those songs where he just kind of oozes these beautiful lyrics out, you know, out of the corner of my eye. All the lyrics are beautiful. This to me is like a Dave fan in like 5 years getting married. This will be their wedding song. You know, this is going to be one of those tunes that when he plays it, it'll probably be like, you know, end a set like before the last song, or like first song in an encore, similar to like how "Sister" is right now or something like that. But I think it's a really good song, and I think it's going to stand the test as a love song, similar to like a "You and Me." Even though "You and Me" is a lot more involved with instruments and whatnot. "Here On Out" is a beauty, and I think that the girls are good, obviously love that one, and I do too. So,
and like you said, that falsetto was just
near the end. Yep. I mean,
when I try to do that, I pass out. You know, I can't sing that high.
Again, it's simple. The guitar is simple in it. You know, it's got a little light symphony kind of in the back sounding, but I mean, it's a beautiful song. Number 4 was another one that was released prior to the album coming out, and that's "That Girl Is You." And I will admit at first, you know, there's something about this song. I'm not exactly sure what it is. At the first listen to it, I was like, it reminded me of the recording of Ehi, whatever you want to call it, a song that he recorded by himself years ago after the band had played it, something he kind of like wrote while he was in Africa. And but this song has grown on me to the point where it's one of my favorites on the album. There's just something about it. You know, the lyrics are raw. Not the lyrics, the vocals are raw. The lyrics are very simple. It's the same verse, kind of repeated 3 or 4 times. But I don't know, man. Once that beat kicks in, it's doom,
very
doom, 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 doom. I love it, and I find myself just like, you know, just like Dave, where like, you know, I'm not a good dancer, so like, you know, all of a sudden I'm just kind of going around like the kitchen, just like, you know, shaking it and like stomping and banging on it. It's just I love the beat of it. What do you think?
I was tapping my foot.
Yep.
Like while I was listening to it.
Yep.
You know, but I almost felt like it was like, I don't want to use the word sexy, but a sexier version of "Here On Out" that we just talked about. It was, you know.
Well, it's, you know, it's cool. Like, you know, even at the beginning, I'm saying to myself, well, the lyrics are, you know, it's not a very deep song, but it's, you know, I saw a girl, the way she moved, it changed the way I see the world, and that girl is you. Like, very simple, but it is sexy in a way. It's really like, you know, it's very direct, and it follows the themes of the first 3 songs. You know, the whole album, when you listen to it, really does kind of just go together perfectly. Like, there's nothing on there that just doesn't seem like it fits that well.
Well, like you brought up, his vocals were kind of raw and cool. Like when the way he said "Hallelujah," like his voice kind of like breaks.
And it's you know,
cool.
in a world right now where everybody's got auto tune and all this kind of stuff, it's nice to see like
I'm being auto tuned right now.
It's just good to see somebody that's not doing that, and obviously we don't expect that from Dave. And there's a lot of times his voice is dubbed over, like, you know, doubled or to enhance sound. But this is, you know, him at his rawest, you know, just. And it goes to one of the things he said in his one of his interviews, that, you know, he felt like the last couple of albums were like too produced, you know, like they were too overdone, and you know, some of those imperfections were fixed, and you know, he kind of likes those things. So even though he's not sure if this was going to be the best album he's ever done, he was happy with the product that he put out, and I agree with it. I love this song. Speaking of a song that I love, probably the most heavy song on the album would be She. Now this one right off the bat kind of reminds you of you know, some of those like late 2000 songs that they started doing, like Kill the King, or but it's got like that heavy guitar riff, and it really is like a Chili Peppers clone kind of a song. Even in the beginning when he starts, she almost sounds like Chris Cornell in a way. I know that sounds really weird, but if you listen to it, like a friend of mine even said that to me, and when I listened to it, I was like, yeah, kind of, I can totally hear that. Heaviest song, but I love the chorus. I mean, as soon as it hits with that, ain't no, I love the song. I think it's great. I heard it live before the album came out, but when you hear the studio version, it's such a great song. What do you think of She?
Well, you know, I probably didn't like it as much as Here On Out, but it's somewhere in there between Here On Out and That Girl Is You for me. And it definitely, like you said, it's like the heaviest,
for sure,
rock, more of a rock song than the rest of them for me. But you know, I definitely liked it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it live myself, being there. I think it's one of those songs, like when they played it live, you know, I'm sure that the crowd loved it and everything, but I think it's one of those that after people hear it a little bit more and they get used to it and then see it live, it's going to be more effective. But I think it's a great song, and I can't wait to see it live. Idea of You, obviously, probably their oldest with Can't Stop. Well, it is their oldest, not probably. You know, and they've done some very, very minimal changes to it over the years. You know, the Carter's drum, like would get faster in the chorus or things like that. But I really got thrown off at the beginning of this. I had heard a copy of this early, and when I heard the crowd noise at the beginning, I was like, oh, this is just a live version somebody's, you know, posting. But once I got the album and realized that this was the studio version, obviously, I thought they did an awesome job with it. The sound in it is great. The lyrics are pretty much the same as we're used to from all the years. You get to pull your hair, get to kick you in your shins, and that stuff. But beautifully laid out. The sound is crisp and clear in it. It's produced by Batson, but this is the one song on the album with Boyd. We also get Leroy and we get Butch Taylor, so as old school of a lineup as you can possibly get with Boyd and Butch and Roy in it. So what were your thoughts on the Idea of You?
Yeah, I have to agree with the crowd in the beginning. You know, for the first half of it, I kept thinking, is this a live song? You know,
right.
Kind of threw me, but yeah, it's a good, solid song. For some reason, it made me think of, like, it was sunny. I don't know why. There was something about it that was kind of like clean and sunny, you know, and good lyrics. You know? Yeah.
I mean, you know, the kick you in your shin thing, I think those had to have been left in because those were like OG kind of lyrics and stuff like that. Do they really fit or sound great? No, I don't know. But the song itself,
bite your ankles,
and I'm not going to kick your ass. No, I think they did a beautiful version. They did the song justice.
The Idea of Hurting You? Is that the original title?
The Idea of Killing You. But nonetheless, definitely did the song justice, and I'm glad it's finally out there. I know so many people who love this song, and including myself, and happy that we finally got a studio version of it. Virginian the Rain. Now, this is a song that, I'm not going to lie to you, this was a bathroom break song for me when I go to see them. Not that I don't like the song, I do. I like the chorus. It's very slow. It's dark. It's probably the darkest song on the album, obviously, but still not about anything, you know, bad. It's still about lust and love. The lyrics, whatever you want, I'll give you that. But tell me we won't grow up too fast.
Yeah.
A lot of it's
I will capture your flag.
Yeah.
which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, it's all sexual. It's all about love, and but it's also about not wanting to grow up or not wanting to get older and just kind of live in the moments. And to me, it almost reminds me of a version of a song that they have called Captain. Captain is great. Don't throw me off of a bridge. It's not as good as Captain, but I definitely think it's got like that kind of a vibe, like slow, kind of dark, haunting vibe, but it's also uplifting in a way. Longest song on the album, and this one was also produced by Rob Cavallo. This one has the lovely ladies in it, at least Tawatha and a couple of other girls. But so Virginian the Rain, another one. I will if they play it when I go see them. I'm definitely not going to leave for it. I want to see it.
Now when I hear it, it's going to make me want to go to the bathroom. I really got to go.
It's a good song. It's definitely one of those when you go see him live, it's such like a high energy thing, and he would get behind the piano and it kind of just real, you've heard it. It's like
it's almost like a trance. I feel like it stays at a certain level.
Yep.
And it wasn't a bad song, but
but that's the thing. But on the album, it's an easy listen and it's a good song. I don't know if much has changed live. I'm not sure if they've played it to this point in the tour. I don't think they've played it yet. But we'll see if anything. I mean, the song arrangement and everything hasn't really changed. So, but again, good song.
Interesting title. When I saw the title before I heard it, I'm like, who's Virginia and why is she in the rain?
Naked in the rain. Yep.
Yeah, it makes you want to find out what the song's about.
My girlfriend's favorite song, which would be Again and Again. Now. I loved it when it was Bob Law, and I gotta say, I friggin' love it now still. I think it's an amazing song. I really do. It's jazzy, it's funky.
Yeah,
I love the lyrics to it. It's one of those songs where anytime it's on in my car, I always sing it. It's like you can't not. It's just, I don't know. There's something about it. I love the bass line in it. I love the the way Stefan plays in it. I love Tim's playing in it. Carter, what can you say? Another one, I think, from knowing it beforehand, they did the song justice, if not made it better. What do you think of Again and Again?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it was another funky kind of not dirty, but it had a little bit of that. And I like how the chorus opens up into something kind of graceful.
Yes.
So I actually really, that was probably my favorite part of it, the actual chorus.
Yep.
But overall, a really good song. There's some lyrics like "Mama save me," It just definitely had that funk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely like a lusting song,
They're all lustful.
Yeah, you've started a fire, you've reignited my soul, and he mentions your poison sting in every verse. So it's like that girl, he knows is dangerous, but
Yeah, there's certain things though. I don't know if you noticed on this album that he mentions.
Did I notice?
Did you notice? I think he mentions poison more than once. Butterflies more than once.
Butterflies
certain things,
Yes, Butterflies is in Black and Bluebird. There's a lot of themes over the years, even monkeys and stuff like that. I'm serious. There's lots of themes and lots of songs, things that get repeated and that are prevalent in a lot of the different songs or albums. But this one definitely is one that they finally just started playing in their sets. They've opened with it a few times, including the other night on their live stream, which we'll talk about right before we leave you today. But the next song on the album is BKDKDKDD. Okay, now it's a very quick song. Obviously, it's 27 seconds. But it's got this cool build to where it finally gets to the point where you're like, yeah, and then it's like, and you're like, shit. But yeah, it's got a good groove. I don't know if it'll be something that they ever play live, and if they do, I don't know if they would do it for 27 seconds or if they would elaborate on it and kind of just jam it out. I don't know, but I would love to see that. But for what it is, it's a triumphant short song that really highlights the horns. It really is a tease.
It makes me wonder if on their next album 6-7 years from now they'll put the other 20 songs. They'll just keep putting parts of
that
the song.
And the rest of When the World Ends.
Yeah.
But for what it is, it's a 27-second segue into Black and Bluebird, and I love it. I think it's cool, and if they ever do anything with it, it would be really cool.
But I feel like when it ended abruptly like that, I feel like we should have heard Dave laughing.
You just hear him go. It's it's perfect.
Slide whistle.
It's a great segue into what I think is probably, now, not my favorite song on the album, but I think the best studio song on the album, if that makes sense. I think it's the most well done song, the crispest, clearest kind of.
Crispy.
It's crispy, all right. It's crispy. And that's Black and Bluebird. It's a song that, listen, I've obviously heard it for a few years now. They debuted it on the Letterman show a few years ago. And beautiful tune, but I don't think I fully appreciated it, honestly, until I heard it on the album. And it's one of my favorites on the album for sure. I love it, and I think they did an amazing job with the producing of it. Black and Bluebird was produced with Cavallo, and that's I think it's the only song on the album that actually has Buddy Strong, the guy who's touring with them right now playing keys. Buddy's on that. So what are your thoughts on Black and Bluebird?
Yeah, I have to agree. It's definitely a very solid, good song. And, I like there were horns or trumpets in there that I really liked. And
that's for Sean, yep.
Yeah, it was funny because there was a part later on where he's talking about Beetlejuice, I guess the star.
Yes.
When I first heard it, it was like a record skip. I'm like, like, what, Beetlejuice?
I just had this conversation with my girlfriend over the weekend because obviously I'm just playing it nonstop everywhere we go. And, he mentioned in the first line, he says, he mentions Canis Major.
Yeah.
And so at the end, when the first time I saw it live, I'm not really following. You're kind of like you're listening, but you don't really catch everything he says. He doesn't have the clearest voice sometimes. So, all I heard in the song was Beetlejuice in about 500 years. And I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? But it makes sense. The whole song is just another example of his lyrical genius. As far as his songwriting has come, this is like the modern day Dave, of where it's just like all these beautiful analogies and. He's talking about a dandelion going through the crack of a sidewalk up to the sun. And, Black and Bluebird, I think, is the most complete song on the album as far as the recording of it. And
he made me say Beetlejuice 3 times, and all hell broke loose. So
in about
good one, Dave.
Yeah, you can't play that track too many times close together.
Michael Keaton's actually looking for money off this track.
Is it Beetlegeist or Beetlejuice though? It depends. Next song on the album is "Come On, Come On." Definitely even though it's the main sound of the song is the acoustic, it's got a very different sound than a normal Dave song does. But the lyrics, again, it kind of reminds me, once he starts singing, a little bit of Dream Girl, song that they did years ago in 2005. But it's much better than that. I love the chorus part of it. I love the lyrics. He has a lyric, I can't think of exactly what it says, but it's like as if the stars shine. Something about shining your eyes, and then about the water going down your face to hit your smile. I don't remember. Pissing on your face. Golden but yeah, I really like the song a lot. I think it's great. They just started playing the song this past weekend in Camden for the first time. What are your thoughts on Come On, Come On?
From the opening drum beat, love this song.
Yep.
There's something, for me, sweeping about it. I don't know what it is, but it reminded me of a movie. Like, the instrumentals alone just remind me of, like, a score of a movie.
Yep.
So I absolutely love this one. It's catchy, the strings, like I said, the opening drum beat, just from beginning to end, I just absolutely love this one.
Yeah, this is a good one. Again, you're not going to listen to this album and find an Ants Marching, a Gray Street, a Tripping Billies. What you're going to find is a collection of like 14, there's a few songs that are short.
14 lustful songs.
Lustful, sexy songs.
As I run the soap.
You see? All I need is a pair of glasses, a robe, and cognac.
Shine my shoes, boot black. Like what? Oh,
Jesus. But it's a collection of great songs. So Come On, Come On is another really good one. Do You Remember? Now, this is definitely one of my favorites on here. It's got a Jack Johnson type vibe to the guitar riff on it. But I remember when Dave first played this, I believe he did it solo with Tim. And I remember just hearing it going, this is a really cool song. And I can imagine if they played it with the full band that it would be a real uplifting kind of, almost like Up and Away from Dave's solo album. But really catchy beat, but I love the lyrics. I love the whole layout of the song. It's pretty much like, growing up with friends and the stuff that you go through and all that kind of stuff. What did you think of this one?
For me, it stood out a little because it wasn't about just some girl, you know.
Right.
It was about childhood and for me, nostalgia.
Yep.
A very nostalgic feel to it.
Yep.
You know, great. I wrote down some lyrics. I like "Gold in the River" and "Ghost in the Attic." I love that.
Don't go up there alone.
Yeah, you know.
But that's it, right. That's the thing. It's just kind of remembering your childhood, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, just because of some of the things that he said in interviews and introducing the song live, it was written for a friend of his that passed away.
Oh.
So it could have been a childhood friend of his that, you know, maybe he shared some of these memories with and kind of went through them. But nonetheless, it's one of those songs. My favorite. I love the entire song, but there's at certain parts in the song. I don't know if it's Rashawn or who it is. It's just that this part goes woo, like a Ric Flair woo, like you hear in the background, making love in the backseat. We're on our own. Woo! Like I love that. Every time I hear it, it makes me
turn around like somebody's behind.
Ric Flair's doing the strut. But anyway, I love "Do You Remember." It's an awesome song. The next two. Finish out the album. We have "Come Tomorrow." What did you think of "Come Tomorrow"?
Good title track.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Probably not my favorite song on it, but you know I did like it. Didn't grab me quite as much as the others, but you know, a good solid song. It wasn't just about love that I can remember. You know, it kind of had its own thing.
This one is not so much about love. I think it's about the kids, and it's about kind of letting the children lead the future. Again, probably not my favorite song on the album, but I do like the song a lot. I think it's catchy. The first time I heard it was obviously when they played it live before the album came out, and for days I don't remember a lot of the lyrics to it at the time, but I just remember walking around going, "Let the children run the show." Like, I don't know why, it stuck in my head, but I think it's a good song, and it's obviously got a good message in it.
It's kind of like, actually, like "Do You Remember" is about the past, the one before it, and then "Come Tomorrow" is about the future.
Right, his own kids in the future, and "Let the Children Run the Show." Not too long and we'll be good to go. And then it's all Brandy Carlisle is on this song doing background vocals in the chorus, and this is another Batson John Alagia produced song. So you know it's really an uplifting song. It's kind of like almost a little country,
a little bit.
But I think it's a good song. I think the lyrics are good and the message is good. And then the album ends with another quick song, not quite as quick as BK Digga 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 Digga, but it's called "When I'm Weary." This is probably, and I'm going to just be 100% honest, a song I've probably listened to least so far, just because it's very short and it's at the end of the album. And a lot of times when I put the album on, I'm kind of, depends where I'm going, you know, I might not make it that far, or like if I'm looking to listen to like a couple songs in particular, I'm kind of just skipping around. But it is a very good song. Basically about, like, you know, being there for you, don't give up on your dreams. So it's kind of like a good way to wrap up the album with the lyrics.
It's a good bookend. To Samurai Cop, and then this, you know, "When I'm Weary" at the end. It's kind of
I'll always be there for you, kind of. So you know he's laid out. Listen, you know I love you. He's laid out his heart in this album. I think all of them did. You know, obviously some glaring things. Boyd's only in one song, so I would love to know how much he actually did record with them, and what they just kind of omitted, or, you know, Idea of You has to have him, I guess. But, you know, it doesn't seem like the album suffered because he's not on it. I mean, sure, he's not on it, you know, but I'm not listening to this going, damn, I wish Boyd was on it. I'm really listening to the song as a collection. Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm sure his bank account is, too. But nonetheless, I think that the album is a huge success. I like it better than Away from the World, which was their last album. You know, to me, it's definitely not better than Big Whiskey and the Gru Grux King, just because there's a lot of songs on there that are already classics to me. But you know, this album is fairly new still, so it's still got to kind of grow on you. And then you got, you know, the true test will be in 5 years from now, after they have another album out, maybe, or another 2 albums out, possibly, and you look back at the stuff that they're playing live at the time then, and what the songs have evolved into. So it's hard to say now, but I love the album. I think it's, you know, there's nothing that's going to touch the first 3. Busted Stuff is great. You know, I think it's probably just as good, if not better, than Stand Up. Now, Stand Up, when you look back at it, has some clunkers on it, but it's got some classics as well. But it took some of those songs time to evolve too. So over the test of time, obviously, that's when you'll really know. But I would give this album a great review, and I did. I would, you know, I'm not going to put a number on it or a letter grade, but I would absolutely recommend it. I've been pushing it to everybody that I know, telling them how awesome it is, and I do think that way, not just because I'm a homer for them. Partly because I'm a homer for them, but you know, but I do love the album. I think it's awesome, and I think it's definitely worth anybody who hasn't listened to it to go and check it out. What do you think?
Yeah, whether you already love Dave and you're going to buy it anyway, or if you don't love Dave, I think it's a great one to get into.
Yep.
I think it can make fans.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, I think so.
Me, you know?
I think you're right about that. I think there's people who could listen to this and definitely get into them, but it's definitely, you know, it might not be, you know, they might go to their live show and hear some other stuff and be like, what the hell? That doesn't sound like what they sound like. But I think the hardcore fans wouldn't. I think, you know, me being one myself, should be enjoying this album for what it is. You know, everybody's got to chill out and stop waiting for the next Gray Street or Trippin' Billy's and just appreciate the music that they're putting out in front of you. Similar to like when you go live. Listen, I'm guilty of it too. Oh man, I need to hear So Right. I need to hear The Last Stop. I need to hear this, that, Pig. But you know, when you go there,
you son of a.
But when you go, you know, you should just eventually just get lost in the music and stop bitching and complaining about what you want to see them play. At the end of the day, they're the guys getting up there, and we don't know how long they're going to do it for, so you got to enjoy it. You know, nobody else does it like them. We're spoiled, especially fans of this band, because people don't go to just one show. They go to multiple shows a year, you know, multiple shows in a decade. You know, I mean, it's just it's not a normal type thing. So, but nonetheless, the album's awesome. Top 3 favorite songs on this album, Mr. Chew. What are you thinking are your top 3?
Top 3, if we start from the bottom up. Number 3, I would have to say, Come On, Come On.
Okay.
I just like I said, I was sweeping, very instrumental, like a great movie soundtrack.
Yep.
So I would put that as number 3 for me.
Okay.
What about you?
Number 3 for me, I would have to go with She. I think She is a great song. Who? Her? I think She is great. I think it's only going to be growing on me. I absolutely love the chorus. You know, there ain't no God or man could kill the burning fire. Like, it just, like, whenever I hear it, I just want to, like,
rip off my.
I just want to rip off my goddamn. No. All right. What's number 2 for you?
Number 2, the first one they put out for it, Samurai Cop.
Okay.
Oh Joy Begin.
Oh Joy Begin.
Love that song.
Yes, it is a great song, and it's tending to get, for me, a little overlooked. I love the song. I really love it. I love when they played it live before it came out on the album. I loved it when I first heard the studio version of it, and I still love it now. But for number 2 for me, I am going to go with That Girl Is You. That's teetering with number 1. It's kind of a toss-up, but like I don't know. It's just the friggin' song just will not stop growing on me. It's one of those things that, like, I look forward to that song coming on when it's coming, and it just never disappoints me. It's just clapping and, like, I don't know, man. But that song gets me going, so I'm going to say that
money
one.
In the air.
Yeah, making it rain.
Yeah.
So that's number 2 for me. And what's number 1 on the Chew list?
Number 1 is Here On Out. That song just, it got in my blood, you know. Something about it. I just love it. Just the guitar, the stripped down nature of it, you know. Yep. I just love that song.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with number 1 for me would be Do You Remember? Again and Again was probably, I like it probably just as much as I like the other ones in this list, but I had to pick 3. I didn't want to pick 4 and be a douche. So, Do You Remember to me? I love
number 4.
Cross it out.
Sorry.
I love the tune. I love the lyrics to it. I love that woo. I love everything about it. I know it sounds so stupid.
I don't remember that part. I gotta go back.
You gotta go back and listen to it. It's faint in the background. It's not like meant to be like. It's not really like woo. It's just kind of in the background, like, you know, echoing around.
Like someone falling down a canyon.
Yeah. I just love the way he sings this song. I love the do you whatever the hell he does. I don't do it anywhere like that, but I love the song. I think he really knocked it out of the park on this one. I think that the music behind it is awesome. The horns are great on it. I think Carter kills it as usual. The guitar is cool. So I think it's my favorite song on the album. Again, as most Dave fans know, by next week I'll probably have a completely different top 3. You know, you start listening to something and then, you know, all of a sudden it starts picking up I don't know, man. It always changes.
Because now after you talked about That Girl Is You, I kind of want to put that in my top 3, because now...
yeah, you think about it, but, that's one of those songs I'm telling you, like, I listened to it, and my girlfriend was like, yeah, I would tell her, I really think this sucks. Like, I hope the rest of the album isn't like this. And then all of a sudden, like, I put it on, she's like, I thought you hate this song. I'm like, I think I do, but I don't know. Like, and then I'm like, okay, this is my favorite. Like, and I'm putting it on and just jamming out to it.
Is there a line in there like, what's your name? Like,
yes.
Like, it's almost like he's some crazy stalker talking to this girl. What time you get off work? I got a nice man.
What's your sister's address? The lyrics are, I'm here, you're there, let's dance, my dear. What's your name? How do you do? What's the game? Hallelujah. And then I saw a girl. So it just kind of repeats itself over and over, but he does it differently every single time, and it's effective. But that beat, man.
Yeah.
And the only thing is, like, when they play it live, they don't exactly do it like that. Like, Carter's kind of got, like, he's drumming, but it's not like that boom, 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 boom. It's kind of a little more like scatter drummed, like it's almost like Carter's signature thing. But
yeah, with a beat like that, he could be talking about tacos, and you would just love it anyway.
But the thing is, he recorded Dave did all the instruments on that song all by himself. He did everything. He did the percussion, he did the guitar, he obviously did the vocals and all that stuff. So I think Rob Cavallo, who did this one? Batson, maybe. Who did this one? That Girl Is You was Rob Evans. So, but it was all Dave, and there were some guys who clapped in the background or whatever. But when they play it live, if you see the live version of it now, they do this jam at the end that's awesome. It has nothing to, like, doesn't sound like anything that's on the album, but they do this amazing little jam at the end of it. And it makes the song so much cooler. And they've been opening with this song a lot, which is really cool. They're standing there, and the first thing you hear is the maracas. So
it could be about tacos, maybe.
It could be.
Like salsa.
It could be. So what are your thoughts? I mean, obviously you're not a avid fan. You don't know every album top to bottom like most of the fans do.
I could be now, though.
You could be, and you damn well will be, because I'll be giving you all of their old stuff. But as a beginner in the DMB world as a whole, what are your thoughts on this album? Were you pleasantly surprised, not knowing what to expect? What did you think?
I always obviously I know Dave Matthews. Like, even though I'm not this crazy diehard fan, I've always liked some of his songs here and there. So I wasn't surprised that these songs were good, you know, but I was surprised that I feel like all of them were good. Yes, in their own way. Of course I had my favorites, but overall, across the board, I was very surprised that it was very consistent. Good, great. There was no song in there that I was like, oh, this is not good.
Right, I feel the same way. I don't think there's a clunker on here. I don't think there's this one epic standout, like, anthem jam that's going to be one of their staples for the rest of their lives. But I think there's a lot of stuff on here that's really solid. Like you said, it's all consistent. Like, every song, there's not really a clunker. I mean, people can say that, well, there's a 27-second song, or When I'm Weary kind of, but like I said, it matches the album. It's a perfect, like you said, perfect word, bookend. And I think everything fits, and I'm sure there was stuff that was cut off of this album that's really good too. Similar to like how one of my favorite songs that they've ever done is a song that was put on a bonus CD. It's called Beach Ball. And it's really one of those things where, like, you don't know what gets cut on the cutting floor, but for this album, definitely they were going with a theme. And they hit the mark on it, and I think that the album is awesome, as well as their number one. Their God, I don't remember if it's their 7th or 8th consecutive number one. Obviously, the only band ever to do that. Congratulations to the boys, number one as usual, and just awesome stuff. They had a live stream on Saturday night from their show in Camden. Although not the best set of the tour so far, in fact, both shows were kind of, their set lists were nothing crazy, but the energy that they show and the way that they play and the joy that you could still see in the guys' faces is unbelievable, and I cannot wait. I'm actually going this coming weekend, Saturday the 23rd in Hartford, and then again I'll be at Jones Beach the following month. So I'm foaming at the mouth right now to see these friggin' guys. I'm dying. It's been the longest drought I've ever had in my years of existence as a Dave fan, because they had the whole year off last year. So dying to go see them. One of these days I'll drag your ass to a show as well. Final thoughts on anything we got here going, Chew?
Let's see. Come tomorrow, buy it today, love it forever.
What else can you say?
Put that on a shirt.
Holy Christ, that is the tagline of the century right there. Well, that's it for us, guys. I'll give you another review of the Hartford show next week. But we're thrilled that the CD is out. We hope you enjoyed it as well. We hope you enjoyed our review of it. Leave any questions or comments you may have. Tell me how fat I am, how bald I am, whatever you want to do, but just make some kind of a comment. But Chew, thank you for joining me today. Our newest member in the DMB family. So
I have a family now.
Yes, check us out. Yes, you are welcome. Listen, the DMB family is extensive and it is welcoming, and arms are wide open, my friend. All right, everybody, signing off. Come get some. Take care.